Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Stories for Hope podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and in today's episode, we're going to hear from special guest Linda Booker. Linda has been a part of Hope for Kids for almost 20 years, and she is actually one of the very first people to sponsor children in our program in Uganda. In fact, she didn't just sponsor one child, but 20. For those of you who are new, Stories for Hope is a podcast run by Hope for Kids International. On this podcast, we share inspirational stories to inspire you to bring hope to those in need. I got a chance to chat with Linda about her experience being a sponsor, meeting her children in person, and the lifelong impact sponsorship has had on her and the kids. Let's jump right in and hear from Linda.
Tom and I both belong to Community Church of Joy, and so that's how we connected originally. And one day in 2004, he comes into my office like his hair's on fire, and he said, "Okay, this is the deal. I've got 100 kids in Africa, and I need you to take some of these kids, and we're going to start a new program with orphans." And I said, "Okay, how much is it per kid?" And he said, $20. And I said, "Okay, well, things were pretty good then." So I said, "I can take 20 kids." And he said, "Oh my gosh, that's great." And so he was off and running. And then he decided that I should go on a mission trip because I've always sponsored kids throughout, you know, World of Vision, Missions of Mercy, you name it, Compassion. But I'd never met any of the kids. So he said, "This time you're going to meet the kids." And so in 2005, then I took my very first trip to Uganda. And it was a life changer.
And did you get to meet all 20 of your kids when you went?
Yes, it was insane. Um, they had been what they called Orphan Day. So on a Sunday, all the sponsors that were there, and the kids all got together. The other organizations, it was just send a check, and you'd get a picture every once in a while, but there wasn't the emotional connection.
Mm.
Uh, with Hope for Kids, I mean, those are my kids. I know they're my kids, and they know it, and they know they're loved. Um, I think if you are just writing a check, you're removed. You're a step removed from who that child is, the needs, the wants. You don't know. You can see pictures, but you don't know. You don't know until you've been there. Once you take a trip, you want to save the whole village. And if you can't, then you want to go get people that will help to do that. So I think taking the trips are absolutely critical. I remember the first time I went there, it was like I couldn't get rid of these kids. I had B2 that I was carrying around, and Justine was glued to my hip. I mean, they're just there. They're your kids. And when I left that morning, we had to get on the bus to leave, and I didn't want to go. I said, How can, after we've been here and seen this, how can we leave these kids? I'm a mom. I'm a mom and a grandma. That comes before anything. I have a relationship with them, and most of them are married or they have children. The kids, the kids are part of my life. They're my family. Justine's family in particular. She was the middle child of 8 kids, and she they lived in a mud hut out in the village, dirt for the floors, the whole scenario. And her mom, to her credit, never left those kids. She just worked in the garden. She's never learned how to read or write. However, her kids did. And Justine's brother, who lives in Kampala, is now a doctor. Justine, I'm very proud of her because she is building a house. It's almost done for her mom and her sister Annette, who's got crippling arthritis and diabetes, and she's going through a tough time. So they are going to have an actual house with a roof, the whole 9 yards. I mean, that's miracle stuff. It was a life changer, and I am very thankful to Hope for Kids and to Tom for changing my life. It was absolutely changed because of that one conversation. You know how God leads you through, you know. But Hope for Kids is it is so unique in what they do and how they do it, and it's the heart. It's the heart of the people. Um, so we're blessed. We're blessed to be a part of it.
Thank you so much, Linda, for sharing your story. Sponsorship is so powerful. It's life-changing for both the child and the sponsor. I love how Linda talked about how her sponsored child, Justine, is now building a house for her mother and sister. Linda's sponsored children are living better lives and are able to care and provide for their own families. As we say, sponsorship is not a handout, it's a hand up. It's changing the destiny of a child's life and giving them hope for a brighter future and a better tomorrow. When you sponsor a child through Hope for Kids International, you get to build a relationship with them. We have children right now who are waiting for a sponsor. If you're not already, I would highly encourage you to sponsor a child. A gift of $1 per day, $31 per month, is all it takes. If this story inspired you and you'd like to sponsor a child, you can get connected with us by going to h4ki.org. Thanks again for joining us as we continue to share inspiring stories. Have a blessed day, everyone.